Get you other news worth your attention now. In Johannesburg, the ANC Youth League is set to march on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange today, demanding economic transformation in what they're calling an economic freedom march. Watching those developments is our reporter Natasha Phiri, who joins us now live. Natasha, help us break down what exactly the ANC Youth League is hoping will come at the end of this march.
Well, very good morning to you, and of course to our SABC viewers once again. Apologies for that. It's quite noisy here at the Bears Nordia Square. Of course, this is where the various young people will be congregating, and then from here at 10 o'clock will be making their way to the Bears Nordia Drive in Sandton to actually submit their memorandum to the JSE. Of course, we saw Kosatu on Monday, and today it is the Young Lions of the ANC. Of course, my other colleague Nosipho Radebe will be situated that side. So we'll be giving you blow-by-blow coverage of this very much. But to speak to us more about this, we are joined by the ANC Youth League Secretary General, Mr. Ngudle. Thank you so much for joining us on SABC News. So you said to me that you were here 13 years ago, and 13 years ago there were 10,000 young people, and you expect 20,000 young people to make their way to the JSE in Sandton.
Yes, Natasha. Greetings to you, Natasha, and the viewers at home. Thanks for having us today. This is a very historic day for us as the ANC Youth League. Remember, 13 years ago in 2011, the Youth League gathered here, were all here. At the time, branch leaders and regional leaders and so on. Now, we are leading the 26th National Executive Committee back into JSE. There are two things we want from the JSE, corporates, is the commitments that they'd made post our march as the Youth League, but also to raise other pertinent issues that are very critical for ensuring that the South Africa's economy, which is the growth story of the country, that we beneficiate our country's mineral resources. That's what we are here for. We are saying to all of them, we are no longer going to accept that you are shipping out raw minerals and exporting jobs to other countries. We want all these mining conglomerates, we want all the investors in the country to begin now to invest in the productive sectors of the economy, which is beneficiation, industrialization, that is going to create jobs for these millions of young people that are now unemployed, loitering in the streets, which are becoming, really, useless, if I may put it that way, because they are not in any form of a job, even after, others graduating. So there's. But
Ngudle, what do you think they'll hear you this time around? I mean, yesterday you were lamenting the fact that 13 years later, not much has been done to ease youth unemployment. Instead, it's actually increased. Why would the private sector listen to you now?
Remember, Natasha, any country, any economy needs to have people who are standing for certain policy shifts. And we are saying as the Youth League, this is the shift we want. Without this shift, we are not going to accept any form of economic performance that is, praised, that does not create jobs. Remember, there's been jobless growth in the country, which has created this massive youth unemployment of 70% of the unemployed, being young people. Lots of these young people that are members of the Youth League and the others that were meeting everywhere as we're organizing, reorganizing the Youth League since we're elected. They are telling us, gentlemen, all we want is that after education, after we've got this education that you are supporting us as the ANC with NSFAS and everything else that you are doing, which is very good, we want to have jobs. We are now advocating for job guarantee programs instead of grant systems that are consistently creating this vicious poverty amongst our people. That is why we are saying the only solution to high growth levels in the country, the only solution to resolving youth unemployment is to ensure that you industrialize the South African economy in order that it creates the much needed jobs. That is going to have multiplier effect, not only to those that are going to be employed, but there will be economic opportunities that are going to be created. The economy is going to perform, Natasha. So everybody, it's a win-win situation for the private sector, even for government, because government is voted for the people to deliver services, but also to create the much needed job. That's why we're saying we want a state-led economic growth in South Africa. The state must be the first investor in areas where private sector sees risks. The state must invest in order that we can be able to crowd in private sector investment and grow the South African economy.
Let's talk about the logistics of today's march. Just talk us through the routes that you'll be taking. Also, just for our viewers to know which routes not to go and so forth.
Okay, Natasha, let me read them out so that I'm specific and I'm not talking general. We are going to be starting at Bayasnodie, moving towards the right into Commissioner Street, Pixley Kaseme, towards Lutuli House, passing there. Then we are going to be in Richard Street. Then on the right, we go to Mariam Makeba Street. We pass towards Jan Smart. We are going to be crossing over to Jan Smart. Then we turn on the right to Andrews 10 and Oxford Street, right to Sentin.
So no highways, you won't be on the highway?
No, we're not going to enter highways, we're going to be crossing over highways.
Okay. And then just lastly, who will be receiving your memorandum? Just be specific which departments and who from the JSE will be receiving your memorandum?
We are expecting the executives of the JSE to be receiving our memorandum. They've agreed that they are going to come and receive our memorandum. We're expecting the Department of Transport to come and receive our memorandum because it's one of the critical departments that are enablers or disablers of industrialization and economic growth. We're expecting DTIC to be there to receive our memorandums in their Black Industrialist program. We don't want theory, we want them to say how practically they are going to be ensuring that black business in South Africa is supported, because that constitutes the majority of the demographics of this country's people. We're going to be expecting small business development. We are saying out of the 2.3 million jobs that must be created, and the ANC has committed unto 1 million of them are going to be coming from small businesses in terms of economic opportunities. We're expecting them to receive our memorandum because we want them to tell us how are they going to do this. National Treasury, we're expecting them to tell us how are they going to be funding small businesses, allocating budget to small businesses and so on in order to create the jobs. Department of Labour and Employment, we're expecting them to be there because they've got money through UIF for reskilling and upskilling and creating exit strategies for workers that have been shed off as a result of one or two reasons in their sectors of operation. We are saying, therefore, they must reskill and upskill these particular workers in order for them to be ready to be absorbed by the jobs market again, or for them to be players in their sectors as small businesses providing those kind of services in terms of our economy. Those are the departments that we've invited. We said they must come and receive our memorandum because it talks to them, and we were expecting, therefore, that the JSE ones are going to be supporting the skills revolution that we want in South Africa, that is going to be pertinent to the economy. Skills that are cultivated, we want them to be pertinent to the current jobs market and the future jobs market, because there are industries that currently in South Africa we don't have the skills for them, which we want them to be created in terms of beneficiation. So we are saying, therefore, the conglomerates, mining conglomerates, the commercial, the financial sector, they must come to the party to crowd in investment in order that we create these much needed jobs.
Tuokolo Ngudle, of course, that was the ANC Youth League Secretary General, saying that the march will be starting here at 10 a.m. And of course, Ayanda, he read out those routes that they'll be walking by. But let me just also gauge the views of the young people that are actually here. Let's just ask why Ayanda, they seem to be all shy, running away from the camera as I approach them. But they're taking part in this march. Sanmanani, how are you? It seems that they're camera shy. How are you?
I'm fine.
So you are taking part in this march. What do you hope to gain from this march?
I hope the organization must be clear and the organization must be honest to the youth, because as a youth we are struggling. Yeah, so I hope from today we will believe in the Youth League. Yeah.
Are you unemployed?
We are unemployed. I don't want to talk about me. All of us here, I think we are unemployed. That's why we are here. That's why we see this march is important to us to be here as a youth. Manda comrade.
And You'll be handing a memorandum over to the JSE, to the private sector, to some officials, from government. I mean, what happens if they don't come back with a desirable outcome that you're hoping for?
No, we have to come back to them as a leadership, and then we must discuss, because they must be honest to us as a young people, because of we are looking upon them. Yeah.
And where are you from?
I'm from Jankem, Northern Cape.
Okay, Northern Cape.
Pokwane.
So you came all the way from Northern Cape?
Yeah.
Okay. And you, sir?
No, I'm saved already.
He's spoken on your behalf. Okay. So you have young people all the way from the Northern Cape, Ayanda, hoping that this march will somewhat be effective. Remember, this isn't the first time that the Youth League has organized an economic freedom march. The first of its kind actually happened 13 years ago in 2011, when Julius Malema was still the president of the ANC Youth League. And 13 years on, they are back here again, saying that it will be double the number of young people that will be marching to the JSE. And hopefully, like this young gentleman had spoken, hopefully he will get employment. Of course, we will be tracking this march. Like I said earlier on, I'm not alone. My colleague Nosi Poradebe will be situated at the JSE. And of course, we'll be giving you blow-by-blow coverage of the Economic Freedom March, which is set to start at 10. Ayanda.
All right, Natasha Phiri live to us there from Johannesburg in Gauteng. Thanks very much indeed. Of course, youth unemployment and generally the issues facing young people in this country have for years now been described as a ticking time bomb. I mean, if the expanded definition of unemployment in our country is past 40%, with young people, we're told, most adversely affected by that, I suppose it doesn't take much to see how that is completely untenable. So we'll be keeping a very close eye on that march, get your sense of if any material change will emerge from it.